Hello artists, and welcome to the Academy at Lion Road Art. Thank you for checking out this video in which I am sculpting a snowy owl with Crayola air dry clay. I began with about a tennis ball sized amount of clay, split it into 2 equal parts, and then turned one into a pinch pot or a small bowl using my thumb and fingers to create the shape of a bowl. Then I make one end a little pointier so that it is teardrop shaped. This will be the body of the snowy owl, and the pointed edge will be the tail feathers. The rounded part will be the chest. With the rest of my clay, I'm going to create the head, the wings, and 2 little snowy owl feet. And so you can see here, I begin by creating the shape of the head using a similar pinch pot kind of method to create a little bit of a hollow inside for it. The rest of the clay I need for the wings and the feet, and you can see here that I needed to actually borrow a little bit more from the head and redo that step. One nice thing about working with air dry clay is that it is forgiving. So if you make little mistakes, feel free to just take it apart and try again. It's great that you don't have to be so worried about getting it exactly right the first time. I love that when we're making art, we are allowed to make mistakes and we can fix them. How empowering. Anyways, to make the wings of the snowy owl, I take a little clump of clay, kind of smash it flat like a pancake, and then turn it into a teardrop shaped. I try to make both of them equal as possible. For the feet, I roll them into tiny little balls and then just smush them flat so that they're kind of like those big old feet on a snowy owl. Now to be honest, I added feet in this sculpture, but when I've done this a second, a third, and a fourth time, I've actually decided not to include feet. I've actually only decided to add wings and a head. But that's besides the point. Anyways, what you see me doing here is something called scratching and scoring, and it's important when you're using air dry clay or kiln fire clay. You have to rough up the surface of the clay before you attach 2 pieces together. It's kind of like Velcro, it helps it stick together. I also just use a little bit of water. You can also use something called slip, which is clay and water mixed together. And that just sort of works like glue so that the 2 scratched surfaces can really stick together. Then you just want to smooth the clay together. You saw me there using a popsicle stick. There are really fancy and cool clay tools, but I always like using things that you might be able to find just in your kitchen. Popsicle sticks, and here I am scratching with just a toothpick. Again, you can go to Michael's or any other craft store and find actual clay tools, but if you don't have the means to or the time to, consider using what you've already got in your home or studio. Even though we have scratched and slipped the clay together, it's still important that you smooth those pieces together, as you can see me doing here with the popsicle stick, so that there isn't a crease between the head of the snowy owl and the body of the snowy owl. It's still possible for pieces of clay to fall off or fall apart when they are drying, and so you want to make sure you really attach everything nicely. I use my 2 thumbs and the popsicle stick to make little divots or indents for the snowy owl's eyes. I had to kind of fidget with it a while to get it just the way I wanted, also making sure that the beak of the owl points or sticks out just enough but not too much. It's okay to be a little fussy when you're making art. Take your time, look at it with a not overly critical eye, but ask yourself, is this just right, or should I keep working at it a little bit longer? If you decide to try this in your own style, I would recommend adding the wings after you add the head and the feet. That way they can overlap over those parts of the owl's body. Same technique as before, scratching the surface of both parts of clay so that they can stick together like Velcro, and then grabbing a little bit of water on your fingertip to work like glue. After you've pressed those on, you just want to make sure that they are secure. Oh, and I just thought of one more tip. Because the body of the owl is hollow inside, you can use your fingers or your thumb on the inside to prevent it from collapsing in on itself. Otherwise, just make sure that you have gentle hands so that when you're pushing two pieces of clay together, you're not breaking or smashing the whole structure of your sculpture. Hope that makes sense. A little water goes a long way. You don't want your clay to be sloppy wet and slippery. It can actually ruin the integrity of the clay if it is too wet. So just a little bit on your finger does enough. The clay can kind of crack and get bumpy, and the water helps you smooth out those cracks and bumps. However, I want my snowy owl to have a slight texture on it so that it looks like it has a whole coat of furry feathers. I'm using that popsicle stick again to just press ever so slightly little bumps and indents to imply the texture of feathers on the body of the owl. You can see that here on the chest really well. And my goodness, we have already nearly reached the end of our video. I want to thank you for watching, and I want to encourage you to try this in your own style. Sculpting a snowy owl, or really anything with air dry clay, can be really fun and rewarding. It takes about 2 to 3 days to dry completely, and then you can paint it and decorate it however you want. Happy making, artists! See ya!